Hello, welcome to Coffee and Keto, episode number 6. I had a whole podcast planned out for today on things to avoid putting in your body to prevent Alzheimer's and diabetes, but that is going to be done next week because something came up this past weekend that really sat on my heart hard that I felt like I needed to talk to you about. So we're going to talk about that today. It won't take long. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was a little bit of an update with my mom. And then I wanted to talk about why I'm so focused on the Alzheimer's diabetes piece of this business without going into the history of whole health concepts so much, because I've already done an episode on that. So first things first, my mom is in a home and doing really well. And she is definitely starting to forget who we are. We are trying to see her twice a week to kind of help trigger her memories. It's hard. It's hard. I don't know if you've ever lost anyone to Alzheimer's, but if you have, I would love to hear your story because, my mom and I didn't have a good relationship before we took her in with her Alzheimer's diagnosis. And this was, I believe, God's intervention for me to have a really good, loving relationship with her, unlike anything I could have ever imagined. I hate to say this, but this is just the honest to goodness truth. I could have cared less if she lived or died. I mean, she was going to drink herself to death, in my opinion, anyway. And so I just was ready for whatever happened. An Alzheimer's diagnosis was different, though. She wasn't capable of caring for herself. And so it was important to me that my husband and I bring her in because I'm her only family. There's no other family for her to care for her. And so that's what we did. Fast forward through COVID and not being able to get her out. And then she ended up needing to be in a home because she progressed pretty rapidly. Even though we had reversed her diabetes, the stillness of just sitting in front of the television all the time because we couldn't take her out was enough to progress her. And so here we are today. And so now I'm watching her mind go. And she's happy. She's in a good place. She's in a great home. I couldn't ask for better treatment and care for her. But it's still hard, it's hard. This is the woman who raised me. Granted, like I said, we didn't have a great relationship, but she had her faculties. And with my grandmother, I didn't see her as much. I didn't spend as much time with her as I have with my mom. So I knew her mind went, and I knew she didn't know who I was at the end, but it just didn't seem as hard. And so now I feel like I am just constantly throwing all of this Alzheimer's and all of this diabetes content out into the world, but with little explanation as to why I'm so focused on it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that today. And what prompted this was a conversation that I had with Tyler at the breakfast table the other morning. And it was just a little bit of an eye-opener for me. And two things he said that really kicked me into high gear on this: no pain, no gain. And people want the least amount of pain for the most amount of gain. And where that comes into play is when I'm talking to people about their future brain health, they're not thinking about their future brain health. And what people don't seem to want to let sink in is that the future is not that far away. Alzheimer's and diabetes both start doing the damage that they do, and it builds up over the course of 10 to 20 years. But by the time you're actually diagnosed with those conditions, it's too late. Diabetes can be reversed, but unless you're diagnosed with mild cognitive decline, the reversal is pretty impossible. I mean, I know that there are a few cases with very, very, very in-depth treatment with neurological doctors, but for somebody like what I'm doing to help someone who's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it wouldn't be possible. I don't have the time or resources to dedicate to that. But what I am here for is to help people understand and allow that that possibility is there starting now. And if we continue to think in our minds that we've got all the time in the world and I'm going to continue to go out and play and live like I live and eat like I want to eat now because I'm not going to be old for 30 years, I hate to break it to you. A little bit of tough love here, but that 30-year track, if you're on the track of eating really bad food and drinking lots of booze and not exercising and not doing things to take care of your body now, that 30-year track is going to hit you right smack dab in the face with you being sick. And what's worse, having that illness creep up on you and just at the snap of a finger, which is what happened with my mother, you're sick and there's nothing you can do about it. You're going to lose your mind. You're going to forget everybody that you know and love. You're going to forget your past, your present, and not even think about your future because you can't put a sentence together in your brain. Or do you want to stop trying to get away with the least amount of pain to get the most amount of gain? If you've got a lot of weight to lose, the odds are you are insulin resistant. If you are eating a high sugar diet and skinny, the odds are you are insulin resistant. And high sugar is carbohydrates, period. It does not have to be table sugar, what you see when you go put sugar in your coffee. It is carbohydrates. It's breads, it's pastas, it's potatoes, it's rice, it's cakes, it's corn. It's all of those things that have a high carbohydrate content. They turn into sugar in your body. That's a high sugar diet. If you're eating like that, then odds are you are building up your insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is the cause of diabetes and Alzheimer's primarily. So what are you going to do about it today? The purpose of this podcast right here, right now, is to challenge you to take control of your life today, to stop saying, I've got tomorrow, I've got 10 years from now, I've got 20 years from now, because the reality is you might not. People are getting diagnosed with Alzheimer's younger and younger and younger. Diabetes is running more rampant in this country than it ever has before, really worldwide. But the reason for that is because everybody believes they have tomorrow. And we have all of this media that's pushing unhealthy weight gain, unhealthy weight to try and tell people that this is the new beautiful life. It's one thing to be confident in your body, but if you're living in a body that's full of fatty cells that are clogging your arteries, that are wrapping themselves around your organs, that are squeezing all of the life out of you without you even realizing it because you're being told that this is the way you should live, I got news for you. You are selling yourself short. You are promoting an early death. So take control of your body. Take control of your food. If you have a struggle with the things that you eat or the things that you drink where you put it down and then you're like, I can't wait until I can do that again. Or if you're like me and you just have things that trigger you, like for me, nutritional yeast triggers me. If I have it in the house, I don't eat popcorn anymore, but I learned how to make pork rinds taste like popcorn. And if I put nutritional yeast on that, it's crazy. Like I will eat it once and then I'll eat it every single day until I don't have nutritional yeast in the house. So I had to throw it out. I know I can't bring it in the house anymore. It's recognizing triggers, it's recognizing habits, and it's recognizing behaviors, and it's doing something about it that gets you healthy again. So I challenge you, do something. I have options for you. I have a membership group that offers meal plans. It offers workout videos, anywhere from 10 to 25 or 10 to 45 minutes. I even have a couple in there that are an hour. I have a one-on-one coaching opportunity. If you want some really in-depth work, we can look at, behavioral patterns. We can look at, what your diet looks like daily, where I write customized meal plans for you so that you can actually be accountable. And then I also have a sugar detox that will be launching again in April. And I am really excited about that because I'm adding to it and just tweaking it and making it so much better and a good experience. And the sugar detox is 28 days and it detoxes you off of sugar slowly week by week so that you're not feeling that overwhelming craving. If that's not what works for you, that's fine, but just find something to make you think I don't have tomorrow if I'm not working on today, because that's what it takes. And no, it's not easy. It's not easy to overcome addiction. It's not easy to overcome cravings. It's not easy to get off of these foods, especially if you've been living on them for years. But I'm going to divulge something to you. I'm a almost 16-year recovering alcoholic, and I started out recovering from food addiction before I switched over to alcohol, because that was what was really going to kill me if I didn't do something about it. But my food addiction is serious too, just like I was talking about. I have to recognize triggers. So I encourage you to do the same thing. I encourage you to call on me if you would like some help with that. I encourage you to put trust and faith into your ability to overcome these things and to move forward and keep yourself from dying an early death, whether it's by obesity, diabetes, Alzheimer's, some other tragic disease that you contract because of the things that you're putting in your body. But you need to recognize it. And I've worried for so long about hurting someone's feelings by posting something like this, but I'm done. I'm done, because I'm tired of watching the cover of magazines tell you that fat is healthy. Fat is not healthy. Fat is deadly. So let me know if I can help you in any way. And if you like this podcast, I beg of you, please share it with someone else. If you think there's someone who might want to hear it, need to hear it, or need the help. That's what I'm here for. Other than that, have a wonderful week, and I'm rooting for you. I'll see you next week.